Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahawashi, Ba'asham Alawach, Kodash, Dabalan, son to the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse here 7, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Now, check this out. This video is for the edification concerning the difference between the tabernacle of the congregation and the ark of the covenant, or the ark of the testimony, and the difference between them: the physical one, the physical tabernacle, which is this one, and then you have the spiritual tabernacle, which is the body. This is also physical, but this is also the body of the people, like our flesh that we're going to get. Well, it's flesh and blood shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. So we're going to get basically extraterrestrial bodies. We're going to get new bodies, as you can see it here. Sorry, I wasn't thinking about it. It just jumped in my head right now. 21, and let me see. I don't need nothing more. 3 and 1 and 2, and also yeah, that's enough. Oh yeah, right. So this one also. So you have here is mentioned the physical tabernacle, which is this one, but this is also talking about our bodies, right? Which is the mortal bodies that we have, and this is the spiritual tabernacle that we got from the Most High, which is not made with hands, as you can see here, which is Hebrew chapter 13. Did I pass it? Hebrews 13 and 13 and 14, if I'm correct. Hebrews 13, 14. Did I not? Wow. No, sorry. Hebrews 13, 14. Wow. Not even paying attention. I'll get to that later. Right, so basically that's what this video is about. The difference between the tabernacles and also the house of the Heavenly Father. What is that and stuff like that. It's also known as the tent of meetings. Now, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 7. I can go all up in here, but I have other videos doing that, so I'll try and get to the point. Verse 7. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp. So what did he do? He did this. For example, here, now if you read the book of Numbers chapter 1, you will see that only the Levites, Numbers chapter 1 verse 51 on down, only the Levites were allowed to actually camp round about the tabernacle of the congregation. Now this is the tabernacle of the congregation. The word tabernacle means a portable, here. Let me see. It's also known as the tent of congregation. It's also known as the tent of meeting. That's all in the scriptures. So it says here, the tabernacle was the portable earthly dwelling place of the Heavenly Father by the Israelites, and it was set up as a tent. Numbers chapter 1 explains that to you. Right. So going back to over here. Right. So, and Moses took the tabernacle, which is this thing here, right, and pitched it without the camp. So he pitched it as if you would pitch a camp. Numbers chapter 1 verse 51. And when the tabernacle set it forth, because they assembled it and brought it with them, the Levites shall take it down. The book of Numbers chapter 3 explains you what the jobs of the Levites were concerning the tabernacle. And when the tabernacle is to be pitched, like how you pitch a tent, The Levites shall set it up. So they take it down and they set it up, pitching up tent. So that's why when we go to camp, it's actually a portable tabernacle, you know. But in that tabernacle of the ancient one, you had the Ark of the Covenant in there, right? And only the Levites were allowed to touch the Ark of the Covenant. So nowadays, when we go and sacrifice our body as a living sacrifice, giving up our body as a living sacrifice, it's basically that's what we're doing. We're emulating kind of something of the emulating, because we're not perfect. We strive to be, but anyway, we're full of sin also. So all of our righteousness is as a filthy rag, but that doesn't mean that we should not try, right? And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. These were the heathen nations that was in the midst of us. For example, you also you also had Israelite foreigners that was called strangers, but I'm not gonna talk about that right. Well, let me just show you this quick. First Chronicles chapter 2 verse 55. And the families of the scribes which dwelled at Jabez, which is in Judah, the Terethites, the Shimeites, the Shahathites, these are the Kenites that came from Hamath, which is a man. It's also a place named Hamath, but that's not it. The father of the house of Rechab. So Hamath was the father of the house of Rechab. And then the Rechabites also got a blessing from the Lord. I'll do a video about that later on. I already did it, but I'm going to do another one concerning this, Lord willing, of course, because I wanted to do something. But anyway, so Jeremiah chapter 35 verse 19. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel. Yonadab, the son of Rechab, shall not want to stand. Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, shall not want to stand. What? Shall not want a man to stand before me forever. So their blessing was that the Rechabites will always have at least one of their descendants, which are the Kenites, that will believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. And here in the Chronicles, you can see that they were made scribes. They was also made scribes, their families and stuff like that. And we also had the Gibeonites living in the midst of us, which were 2 Samuel 21:2. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. So they was living in the midst of us also, which were also the strangers. And then you had another one, damn it, I just had it, which was talking about, right, I got it here. Now the Kenites, by the way, the Kenites were Midianites. They were of the family of Moses, his wife's side. Here, Judges chapter 4 verse 11. Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the brother-in-law of Moses. It says brother-in-law when you go into the Hebrew, and if you check out the history, it says brother-in-law. But the English, there is no differentiation between a brother-in-law and father-in-law, because they were all calling each other brother and stuff like that. But they knew that they was talking about father-in-law, so they would call him a brother, meanwhile he's his father-in-law, and vice versa. He's his brother. He's his brother-in-law, but they would call him brother-in-law, and also he's his father-in-law, but they would call him still brother, you know. But it's the father-in-law. Well, that's the case in this verse here. Other verses you have other things, but anyway, in law. And children of Hobab, the father-in-law says, of Moses through his wife, I think it was Zipporah, had separated himself from the Kenites and pitched his tent unto the plain of Zaanaim, which is by Kadesh, which was in Naphtali. Yeah, the Kadesh down there toward Esau, toward Edom, and toward Judah and Edom, and you had a Kadesh upward toward Naphtali. This is talking about Kadesh Naphtali, or Naphtali Kadesh. But the point is that you had a stranger, a person from another nation living there, and these are the Midianites, which Moses married later on in the book of Exodus chapter 1. Exodus chapter 1, I think 18 also, but anyways, no, it's actually 18. Is it Exodus 18 or Leviticus? Yeah. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, these were the children of Abraham, Midian. So Moses went and had children with one of the children of Abraham, their descendants. That's those Midianites. Zipporah, his wife, was a Midianite. And don't get it twisted, because we also had wars with them. Yeah, so, yeah. But Moses' father-in-law. And what was his name? Well, when Jethro is basically a title. And then his name was Raguel. And all that there. But anyway, going on to back over here. Numbers chapter 1, verse 51. And when the tabernacle setteth forth, the Levites shall take it. Okay, I already read that. The Levites shall set it up, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. That also goes for the Israelites, because in the book of Numbers chapter 18, it shows you that if the Israelites were to come there too, they also would be put to death. Revelation 8, Numbers 18, and so here it says it again, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And then, let me see, verse 22, neither must the children of Israel henceforth come nigh the tabernacle of the congregation, lest they bear sin and die. So, not only the rest of the tribes, except for the Levites, would die if they come near the tabernacle of the congregation, but also the heathen nations, the strangers that live in the midst of us, whether it was an actual stranger, or fast forward to the future, an Israelite foreigner stranger, lacking inheritance. So there are three. But like I said, I'll make another video concerning this stranger thing over here. Verse 52. And the children of Israel pitched their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard, throughout their host, and which is going into this, like, you know, picture this, like. But the Levites shall pitch round about the tabernacle of testimony. So now it's called something else. Right, the tabernacle of testimony is talking about, this is the Ark of the Covenant, the testimony. But it's talking about the tent where the Ark of the Covenant is dwelling in. And I have a point of talking about this, because like I said, I gave it the examples a little bit in the beginning, but I want to talk about a few other things. So going on, that there be no wrath upon the congregation of Israel, of the children of Israel. And the Levites shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of the testimony, of testimony. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so did they. Exodus 27 and 21. In the tabernacle of the congregation, without the veil, which is before the testimony, which is talking about this. This is the veil. You have the second veil, which only the high priest can enter one time a year, and then the Lord would talk with him in the cloud here, between the cherubims. And this is the first veil, and then the priest can go here, right? So which is before the testimony, that veil. Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations, on behalf of the children of Israel. So only the Levites were allowed to go there. Exodus chapter 30, verse 26. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle, or the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony, which is the ark of the covenant, right? Because what is a covenant? Covenant is, so testimony is a witness and a testament, right? Okay, so it's a witness also, as another example similar to witness. And then you have a covenant definition, which is a contract, which is an agreement, but I'm looking for another word. Agree, promise, vow, contract, bind oneself. So we are bound by contract to Yahweh. An agreement, deal, bargain, treaty. Yeah, looking for a word. Covenant. Wait. The ark of the ark of testimony and the ark of witness. Yeah. Testimony. So witness is testimony, and then covenant is an agreement, is a promise, is a pledge, it's a guarantee. That's also true. Anyway, I'm looking for something, can't find it right now. It's all good because I can show it with another thing, for example. Anyway, going on. So it's also called the, wait, let me go here. Huh? What am I doing here? Okay, wait. And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp. So he did it like how you see this picture here. So he did it without the camp. He went a little bit away, and then he's basically set up the tabernacle there, afar off from the camp, and called it. So Moses is the one that called it the tabernacle of the congregation. So this is a tent that Moses set up for the Ark of the Covenant to dwell within. And it came to pass that every one which sought Yahweh went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. Meaning it was not close to the camp where the people were. And you can check that word here, Hebrew 33, and let me see, Hebrew what? 7, okay. 7, okay, so I think I clicked this one. Okay, that was those two words. So this is then here 7, the tabernacle he pitched. So this word is tabernacle, Hebrew 168, which goes into the tent, the sacred tent of Yahweh, right? That's what it goes into the tabernacle, right? 1610. Ahal. And then you had the other word camp, which is this one, Hebrew 4264. Mahana. Yeah, Mahana. Which is basically encampment, which is those who encamp, the body of people, right? So, what does it say? It says that, and Moses took the tabernacle of Yahweh and pitched it without the camp of the bodiment of the Israelites, like example here, like this. You could picture this in your head a little bit. Afar off from the camp. So he put the tabernacle far away from the body of people that were encamped, somewhere else, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. A congregation, of course, means the assembly of people, a group of people assembled. But he called it the tabernacle of the congregation, meaning basically the portable dwelling place of the Heavenly Father, but for the congregation, right? The tabernacle of congregation, where they come together, close by the tent that houses the Ark of the Covenant, where the Heavenly Father dwells. And he said, and there will I dwell among you. That's what he said. And it came to pass that okay, so already with that. And it came to pass when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, so he went away from the camp of the body of people. Then he went to the secluded tabernacle where the Heavenly Father was. The Ark of the Covenant was in the tent. Look, I'm reading physical, carnal. I'm reading what it carnally means, but I'm also going to read what it spiritually means, because the scriptures, one chapter can be spiritual and scriptural, and spiritual and carnal, and it could be all over the place. Sometimes it jumps from time periods in one chapter, so just like the book of Ezekiel, for example, Ezekiel 28, if you read it carnally, it's talking about the ancient king of Tyrus. But if you read it spiritually, it's talking about the modern day king of Tyrus, which is Esau. Right? So, going on, that all people rose up and stood every man at his tent door, like example here. They was looking and looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. So he went into this thing here, and he went inside. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended. So the cloudy pillar descended. So there was a chariot, but you also had here a pillar of cloud or something like that, right? A pillar of cloud. And there's a movie called Indiana Jones. I'll put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself later if you have the time. You can kind of go here for yourself.
Dr. Joel?
Let me see here. Smoke all over the place coming up out the ark. Fire, light, all those type of things and stuff like that, right? Anyway, you see a pillar of fire. You see it there. Let me see, where did I get it here? Somewhere here too. Oh, here I think. This is a pillar of fire. That pillar of fire. Like I said, I'm talking about it carnally, and I'm also gonna talk about it spiritually, because if you hear about the pillar of fire by day, and a pillar of fire by light, and a cloud by day. Now, light is fire. So what did they see? Chariots. You have sights of UFOs and stuff like that, shaped like this, like a straight thing, and also shaped like a cigar, you could say. Just a straight. This one is a movie called The Arrivals, or Arrivals. Let me see, Arrival movie. I'll put these links in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, those pictures that I kind of showed here. There's more, there's about 32. This is what Esau saw in the time before Photoshop was there, before Photoshop existed. And this is a pillar coming up out of the water here. You can see it coming up out of the water, and then also you can see a pillar of smoke coming up out of it and stuff like that. And of course here you can see it again here. This is an actual picture. This is not no Photoshop thing. Well, you can believe what you want, but this is old school, you know. So, but yeah, because people might be like, how can you prove it? Well, I mean, it's like with the Heavenly Father. You can feel the wind, right? But you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you know it's there, you can feel it. Well, same thing with the Heavenly Father. You can feel the truth, you know. But then again, false prophets also feel stuff, so I don't know. It's up to you, you know. So I don't know. Can't help you with that if you are a doubter. But anyway, it can be silent in the water, and it can burst out. That's the type of power that they have. And smoke endevils it or something. I don't know how you use that word. Embellishes it? I don't know how you use that word. You know, it's around it. It's around it. Psalms chapter 18 speaks about this. Darkness and the shadow and stuff like that. You know, it looked like a face here, but going on and stuff like that. Let me see, but this one is good. It's not shot, and it's not tumbling like it's falling. It's actually moving around unnaturally. It can be straight, it can be this one, and by the way, these are other shapes. This is another one, this is another one, but this is a pillar. Okay, enough of this. So going back to over here, so it says here, and it came to pass, so Exodus chapter 33 verse 9, and it came to pass as Moses entered into the tabernacle, but in the time of I think it was Matthew or Luke 19 or something like that, or Luke 9, then they entered into the cloud. Let me get that. Luke, I think. Yeah. Luke 9:34 is the same thing as Matthew 17 and 1. While he thus spake, there came a cloud. Now this is a different type of cloud. I'm going to talk about that cloud right there in Exodus. But anyway, going on, and overshadowed them, and they feared as they entered into the cloud. So they went inside, just like how King David described that he went inside of a chariot in the book of Psalms chapter 18, and somewhere in Psalms 2 Samuel 24 also, if I'm correct. Let me see. It's the same account as what was written in Psalms chapter 18. Let me see. No, it wasn't here then. Then it was, I think, 2 chapters before this then, maybe. Because it wasn't 23. It sure wasn't 23. Yeah, this one. He wrote it. Okay, this one. This is the same account as the book of Psalms chapter 18, as you can see here. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. And and then you can see here, it's the same thing. And where is it? Let me see. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. Pop. So it's the same thing. Right. So let's go away from here. So, and there in those 2 chapters, you see that King David went into the chariot, but it's explained a little bit different. But here you can see him into the cloud, and then going back to over here. So, and it came to pass as Moses entered into the tabernacle, into the tent, the cloudy pillar descended. So a cloudy pillar descended basically, and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord Yahweh talked with Moses. Well, he heard a voice, and you can catch that here also. Let me go to it real quick. I didn't want to go to it right away, but I will have to actually. Where did I put it? I didn't even put it. I didn't put it. Let me see. And then I think it's here then. Numbers chapter 7 verse 89. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation, which is this thing, yeah, to speak with him, with who? The Heavenly Father. But this time he was with the arches. He wasn't on the outside of it, because the Lord can do what he wants. But it specifically shows you that here he wasn't on the outside of the door of the tabernacle of congregation to speak with him, when he heard the voice of one speaking unto him from off the mercy seat that was upon the ark of the testimony. And the word mercy seat, it is this. Look, I'll get to it because I'm jumping around actually. Mercy seat, if you click on it, it says here place of atonement. There is where the priest went to go do the high priest in the book of Hebrews chapter 9. He went there, and also Leviticus chapter 16. He went there to sprinkle 7 times, and stuff like that for the atonement of the Hebrew Israelites. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 1 explains to you that if the Old Testament, the Old Covenant was perfect, then there would no reason be to seek for the New Testament, the New Covenant. So yeah, yeah, that about that, right? Sorry, actually here.